And it looks like we are on. Let's just wait a couple of moments then for folks to make sure that they are connected to Foundry and that they have got Sirenscape playing something in their ears. Or at the very least something they can hear. My abiding memory of a D100 was the fact that, and this is going back quite a few decades now, I hate to admit, but when Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay First Edition came out, it had to be played with a D100. And it was basically a golf ball, but bigger. And my abiding memory of using that damn thing was that every time you rolled, it would roll and roll and roll and roll and roll and fall off the table and roll and roll and roll. So you got a lot of exercise playing those games.
Yeah. It was the one die that was safe in the cats, because when the cat tried to bat it away from you, it just kind of like, wow, this is heavy. I'm not interested anymore.
And yet it gained so much momentum for rolling and then falling off the table that it still kept on going, even when the cat tried to bat it.
Yeah. Wouldn't stop for anything.
Was it secretly a fan of Limp Bizkit?
Well,
No,
hopefully
it was,
nobody is a fan of Limp Bizkit, but I'm sure there must be some folks. They did okay stuff, but I wasn't that big on them.
They're reasonable.
Then the fans got better.
Well, it's the fact is they recognise as like, we've had our time in the sun, we're now just going to disappear, and left it at that. So they didn't actually burn out. That's one of the good things I could say. So they didn't hang around like some people should just be. Some artists should be put down at this point. They've been around too long.
It's better to burn out
Paul
than
McCartney,
fade.
Cliff Richard, you know, like just go outside and shoot. How do you reunite the Beatles? 2 more bullets.
Not that we
Well,
are
if we're going
advocating for Moida, let's quickly point this out.
If
I
we're going to
mean-
go with shelf life,
Not directly.
let's go a bit further now. Who's here sick of all the attention and the fact Beethoven and Bach and Mozart just refused to end their careers gracefully?
I know, just keep coming back, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, on that happy note, I am going to... Death to Bach and Beethoven, oh wait. I'm going to stop the ship rumble. Everybody's in? Everybody's listening to something?
Yep.
Excellent. Then I will turn off the plinky plunky and I will quickly divert everybody to our intro video. So we will see you in a couple of seconds, folks. Stay tuned. That intro video never gets old. Welcome along, folks, to the continuing adventures of the USS Navis. I am MJ the GM, and I will be your games master for this evening. And with me are the noble crew of the Navis. We got pretty much everybody today, which is great.
Hello. Can I interest you in a Moss lecture, dear viewers?
I'm sorry, Moss lectures abandoned the Geneva Convention.
Well, the Geneva Convention didn't last past 2105, so...
Sorry. The second Geneva Convention, the one done in the Italian-speaking part of Switzerland.
Yes, but that doesn't kick in till 2703.
Oh.
Stop time traveling your diplomacy! Quit
Getting
living
oddly
in the future,
specific.
man. It's funny because, of course, when you're talking about time periods, there's no way you'll be alive for people to call you on it. You can say anything you want. I learned that from my good friend Nostradamus.
Well, I'm not sure I can follow that, so I'm just going to go straight into the episode. Alright then, so for the benefit of those who weren't here last week or who have forgotten, there has been something of a war council called Narendra Station, as it seems the Romulans are making their move on the Candidate 3 system. And the Candidate 3 system was the system where the Navis crew encountered the ruins of an ancient civilization, very, very similar to the one, if not identical to the one that you've been finding so far across Shackleton Expanse, the Tilical ruins, as they were called. Excuse me, the Tilical race, I should say. And you also came across a creature that called itself Assessor Tredik. Last time you were in the Candidate 3 system, the Romulans had preceded you to this place and had landed their own team and was trying to conduct some kind of, I don't know, negotiation. They were talking with Assessor Tredik, and you guys managed to get everybody to pretty much share in what was going on. But eventually something happened. You managed to successfully repair a piece of technology on the Candidate 3 planet, at which point Assessor Tredik determined that it was too early for something and teleported the entire away teams and their ships back to their respective home bases. How you doing, Suitable Substrate? Thanks for tuning in. So this is Candidate 3 System Take 2. The Romulans are now coming in under a more aggressive stance, with 4 Romulan Warbirds making approach to the Candidate 3 planet. The only problem is, if I can just zip the map over to the current situation in the Candidate 3 system, is that not only do we have Romulans coming in from outside, but there has been a rather incredible circumstance where a rift has formed, and out of that rift in the Candidate 3 system, another planet has come out. And that planet is nothing less than the planet Orgoon 3, I do believe, which you guys have encountered previously. It had a race of sentient creatures whose planet was slowly destabilizing, and they would need to be evacuated if they were to survive. The only trouble was that the people who were helping evacuate the Orgoon 3 natives were civilian scientists from the Federation, not necessarily from Starfleet, and so they'd already well, they didn't break the Prime Directive because the Prime Directive isn't breakable by civilians, as it turns out. But that very planet, which we hope has been totally evacuated of all of its people, has now found itself somehow in the Candidate 3 system, and is now on a slow but very definite collision course with Candidate 3 system's 3rd planet. So we have had to split our Starfleet group, our little convoy, or whatever you want to call it. So the Venture, our Galaxy-class ship, captained by Captain Corbett, is going to try and use... Sorry, what was that? Commodore Corbett, yes, he was judged to be the one who should be in charge of all 3 ships.
Just to rub it in for Blackford.
Just to rub it in for the captain of the Bellerophon, yes. Now,
talking about Corbett or Commod. Got it.
So the Venture at this moment, their job is to try and decrease or nullify the amount of gravimetric waves coming off of this disturbance in order to stop those gravimetric waves from destabilizing the Candidate 3's 3rd planet, which gives the crew of the Bellerophon and some intrepid members of the Navis, whom I shall zoom in on now, they are going down to the planet in order to see if A, they can secure any artifacts or data that could be useful, worth saving, but moreover, the Navis away team are looking to respond to the cry for help that Assessor Tredik has issued telepathically. And so this team, consisting of Hello, Lieutenant Junior Grade Edwards, Nova, Nurse Bravo, Lieutenant Ori, Commander Vibers, Commander Bravo of Security, and Lieutenant Junior Grade Natik. They are going to try and race back to the area of the Hyperstyle Hall that you found before the last time you were on this planet, and you want to see if you can help the Assessor in some way. Meanwhile, while you guys are doing that, Blackford and the crew of the Bellerophon are going to be sending out engineers and technicians to try and salvage as much of the ruins on the planet as they possibly can. But this is becoming increasingly difficult because of the gravimetric distortions going on throughout the system, which is why, A, the Bellerophon has landed on the planet because it's too dangerous to try landing shuttles, and B, the Venture is trying to hold off these gravitational waves for as long as possible. How well they're going to succeed, we don't know. But you guys who are looking at this right now should see that I have basically cross-hatched a lot of the map, reorientated things somewhat from what it was last time, because I have now discovered what I was doing wrong in trying to use the drawing tool to delineate zones. So we now have zones. The Navis has decided that they're going to take on the 4 Romulan Warbirds, or at least keep them off and occupied long enough to A, stop them from landing troops on the planet, and B, to stop them from landing troops and attacking the crew of the Bellerophon, and of course the away team. So, that was a lot of information I just dumped on you guys in a very, very short space of time. So, before we jump into the episode proper and its continuation, is there anything that you think I've forgotten, or anything I need reminding of, or something you've forgotten that you need me to remind you of? Excuse me while I just reload this because my momentum and threat have gone.
Given the Romulans are all in a nice convenient line, we need to quickly find a way to change the direction of the planet so we can just charge right through them.
The problem is the planet that's appeared in the system is now heading directly for this because it's being pulled by its gravity. So if you can find a way of overcoming gravity from a planetary body, I'm not saying that's not
human saying that I believe applies to this. Into the system, planetary cannon, 2 OP, please nerf.
So,
I'm in one of those moods today, I apologise.
This is where we need a queue. Has anybody got one?
Hello, I will be your cue for this evening.
We need to change the gravitational constant to the universe.
How about no?
Oh.
Right, so just for Mike's sake, since he wasn't here last week, Lieutenant Ori has been volunteered as part of the away team that's going down to the planet. And your second in command, Lieutenant Alex Monod, is in charge of sensors and science on the Navis while you're away. So those will be your primary characters when we jump between the two. So, the away team didn't actually go down in a shuttle. They shuttled from the Navis to the Bellerophon, and then the Bellerophon itself landed. The Bellerophon has landed, and so Captain Blackford has been issuing out his teams in order to do the duty they're supposed to be doing. Meanwhile, you guys have been given the go-ahead to go out into the ruins in order to try and find the Assessor. But, of course, this is complicated somewhat by the fact that bits of Orgoon 3 are breaking off and are streaking towards Candidate 3's third planet, which you are currently on. And so there are now meteorite showers that you're going to have to contend with as you dodge between the ruins. But before we get to you guys, we're going to need to conclude a little something, which was the battle in the stars in this Candidate 3 system. So let's change the ambience in order to go to holding back them Romulans. So the Navis
Number them
crew,
1 to 4.
the Navis had their turn, and you had managed to successfully position yourselves so that the Romulans have to get past the Navis in order to make an approach towards the third planet. And as can be seen, you managed to knock down about 3/5 more or less of their shields in one shot. Now, as the notations on the map should give you a clue, the Romulans are now, the Romulan captains are now creating advantages for themselves as a group. So one ship starts to share targeting data with, or link targeting data through all 4 ships. And one of the others is now engaging in flanking maneuvers. It looks like the Warbirds are pairing off, 2 pairs going either side, looking to go either side of the Navis. Your communications officer on the Navis tells you that there is another series of orders being issued from the furthermost Warbird, that they are now gearing up to set up for a crossfire, which is another advantage they have created. Curiously, there's nothing coming from the other Warbird in the group, but nonetheless, they are all coming in with intent to fire. So, the first thing I am going to do is they are going to initiate a single move into the next zone in front of them, or zones I should say, because they're in separate ones, which costs them power, and they are also setting up attack runs. So, as a result, their power cores are going down, and what they've essentially done is shared targeting, flanking maneuvers, and crossfire are all combining to lower the difficulty of being able to hit the Navis. They've closed the distance, so the difficulty is lower. Thazanan initiated, very cleverly initiated evasive maneuvers as well as an attack pattern, so that's up the difficulty. But 3 captains doing 3 different advantages, combined with their helm officers also doing attack maneuvers, means that they have reduced the difficulty of hitting the Navis all the way down to 0. So in order to speed things up, I am assuming hits, which means I now need to roll damage, which is what I am going to do. But before I do that, I need to take another point of power from each of the individual Warbirds, because firing weapons does take power. So let's see what we get as far as damage goes. Disruptor banks away. That's Warbird number 1. This is Warbird number 2. Warbird number 3. Warbird number 4, if I can get to it. There's dice all over the shop. Alright, so essentially that was a whole lot of fire going in towards the Navis. These are Starship Disruptors. So that's a hell of a lot of disruptor shots that have just been coming your way, so let's see what we get. Oh, and because these are scale 6 ships, they have also used their sensor operators to give their ships the piercing advantage on their weapon systems. So, Warbird number 1 scored 8 with 3 effects, and Vicious, that's actually 9, 10, 11. The Navis has got resistance 7, but knocked that down by 2. It becomes 5, which means that's 6 off of the Navis's shields. That is more than 5 after resistance has been taken into account, which means you have suffered a breach. Which system has been hit? Well, we have a random roller for that, so I'm going to roll. Let's see what we get. Structure. So the entire ship's superstructure rocks, which means everybody can feel free to give me the Star Trek shake. And that means I am going to roll a challenge dice, and if I get an effect, somebody, a known NPC maybe, on the ship has been injured by an exploding panel. No. Okay. Someone somewhere on the ship, but nobody who's actually in the cast list has been potentially injured. but that's from Warbird number 1. So alarm klaxons are now sounding on the ship. Whoop. Naggy feelers, if only I could see that. Nonetheless, what was that? That was number 1. Number 2. This shot comes from the strangely silent Warbird. This shot is a little less strong, but nonetheless hits for 7, which after resistance takes the shields down by 2. That does not cause a breach. The next one is a 7, which is another 2, so shields are being knocked down gradually, and the last one is a whopping 12. -5 leads to 7. Your shields are down to 2, and that means another breach has happened. Let's see where that breach is. Engines! Uh-oh! So, just to consult the rules about starship damage. When the structure gets an impact, as I've noted before, just now, we got to see if somebody has been damaged. They haven't. That's the only effect of structure damage at this point. But engines is a different matter entirely. Whenever the engine systems suffer 1 or more breaches, it disrupts those functions temporarily. The ship loses 2 power immediately. Further, until the internal systems officer or someone in engineering performs the restore minor action all tasks assisted by the ship's engines, which have a power requirement, now increase in difficulty and complication range by 1. So I'm going to note that on the damage report. Engines impact. Now, Mike, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to use Lieutenant Mono, please. And I want you to give me a... let me see... a reason and security test, please. This is going to be difficulty 3, but it is going to be assisted by the ship's sensors and security. Gareth, if you could be the Navis. So I don't know if you got that, Mike?
Yeah.
Cool.
Navis gives 1 success.
Cool. So...
Can you use sensor operations as a focus?
yes, please. Definitely. Sensor operations as a focus. You have 4 momentum in the pool if you want to go that way. Never mind. 1 success, 2 successes. Okay. You can... What was that, sorry?
2 successes is a good thing.
2 successes was a good thing, but I needed 3. So, since Mono does not have determination, you can succeed at cost.
Okay.
Alright. Which basically means I get extra threat to do something with. But, nevertheless, the ship is rocked by multiple impacts. The shields are getting pounded down, and the superstructure winds and the engines take a hit. Nevertheless, a little alert comes up on Lieutenant Mono's panel, letting him know that when the, let's say, the quiet Warbird struck the ship with its disruptors, there was an unusual resonance pattern associated with it. I am going to just divert myself a second. I'm going to bring Lieutenant Keshen onto the map so that you can use him more easily. Your communications officer. There he is, Tufty himself. Keshen, in response to Mono's discovery, reckons that an encoded burst transmission appears to have been piggybacked on the disruptor blast.
It would be the communications officer that decoded that, right?
Captain, I'm trying to decode it, but it's asking for an authorization code.
So I'm going to take us to the bridge briefly here.
Sounds like I got back just in time.
Oh, did you miss all that? So I'll wait for everybody to get loaded in. There we go. So basically, Lieutenant Mono recorded that the silent warbird, as it were.
I got that bit. Yeah, about the entry message.
Yeah, you've got an encoded a tight burst transmission, and your communications officer has just tried to access it. But according to him, it's asking for an authorization code.
Is it Federation signature?
I'm not sure, Captain. Could you come and have a look at this, please?
He is, after all, only a junior grade. Now, as Captain Andrews comes over and has a look, there is indeed an encrypted transmission attempting to be decoded, and on trying to access it, Keshen has prompted it to ask for an authorization code. But as soon as Andrews looks at the scramble code, it rings very, very familiar, and all of a sudden she gets the ping of a memory from back when she was not who she is now, basically. She recognizes the encoding as used by Starfleet intelligence. Specifically, it seems to carry an encoded ident that suggests an operative who's trying to communicate with you. And all of a sudden, Andrews finds a sequence of numbers coming into her head, almost unbidden. Not so much like, it's just coming into you in a flash of beamed into your brain. It's like the memories are surfacing. And it seems like your brain has automatically associated what sequence to actually input with this particular scrambler code. So the question becomes, are you going to try it?
We have reservations. I'm also going to advise Bertram I might collapse.
Yeah. Bertram's in sick bay, not
Bertram at this point is in sick bay getting reports of people coming in with minor injuries now, so.
Yeah. Kaval, if I collapse, you have the con.
Good promotion. Dead man's boots.
Well, he's commander, so he'd have the rank, and he has the rank to do it anyway.
Yep. He's in the command structure. He's literally in the command structure in the command field. So
he's third officer after we did the rewrite.
Yep.
Second officer, sorry.
So, what you doing?
Yeah, with reservations. It'll be entered.
Hold on a second, guys. I'm getting a call.
The Romulans.
Hello. Nope, no one there. Never mind. Probably spam. So, yeah, with reservations. Okay, so Andrews' hand kind of hovers over the controls, and then the numbers just seem to come almost on their own. And as soon as you enter them, the encoder sequence resequences itself and decodes the transmission, and it's just text. And it reads, "Friendly. Will render aid ASAP. Focus fire on wingman. Sigmund." Now, the name Sigmund does ring a bell to Andrews. There was a...
They're actually false, fake Romulans.
Indeed. There was, you remember, you remember an intelligence operative called Natalie Sigmund from back in your days when you were in Starfleet intelligence.
I don't like this. I don't like being piggybacked as a spook.
Hold on a second.
Woo! So which one's the wingman ship? The one that we've been hammering on already. Hello.
C716, so as soon as he's gone to.
Oh.
And on a completely unintentional signal that you pick up at the exact same time. Hi, we've been trying to reach you about your extended.
Are you paying too much for your boat insurance?
It's just like, Commander Fibers, we've got your latest shipment of illegal Romulan ale. That's illegal Romulan ale.
It's like, no, it's gonna be more. Watch at midnight, the
It's
expensive Romulan watch.
It's Fibers,
No.
it's not subtle.
It just says delivery at
Checking.
drop-off point
Checking.
C.
Did he drop completely? I know.
There's also a series of messages.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry about that. What happened there was my my headphones decided to stop working, and by doing so, it confused my voice mod app, which then went, "Something's wrong! Something's wrong!" and it threw everything into a loop. So yeah, apologies for that. Ale and watches. What have I missed?
We were discussing about the actual other transmissions that we were receiving. One of which is that our ship insurance is due, and the second one was that Vibers has a collection ready that's not Romulan ale honest gov.
And by the way, did I want the stuff from Romulus or Remus to dispatch?
Not sure folks know about the Remans by this point in time. Or do they? There's mention of
We know-
Remans being used in
we
the
know
Dominion War.
We might not know about Remans, but we know Remus as a place exists.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So that being the source of my Romulan ale wouldn't be that suspicious.
Just getting all
yeah.
your Romulan ale ported to Remus and then to.
The Romulan ships then finish their turns by regaining shields and regaining power.
So my question that I had for you before you cut out was, which of the ships is the one that we've been? Is it the one
I'm
that
going
we've
to
been
ping
hammering
it
on?
now. I'm going to pick.
Oh,
That's
that
the
one
one
there.
that you got the burst transmission from. That one.
Oh, but it was Wingman. So is it that one that he tenders to fire at? Or that
I believe so. Now, meanwhile, not long after all this happens, Lieutenant Monod gets another warning alert, as it seems that there is a buildup of gravitational energy, gravitons coming off of the subspace anomaly and the planet that's incoming. The Venture has put itself in a position to try and counter it as much as they can. Move the planet a little closer, and then sensors tell you that the first couple of waves hit the Venture, and they seem to have modified their shields and deflectors to absorb the incoming energy and then just fire it out in a different direction, even trying to use their Bussard collectors as a means of trying to expel more gravitational energy to try and push back against it to nullify it. But your sensors are now indicating that this has caused a power surge in a lot of the Venture's systems, which has knocked out more power and is starting to affect their shields. Sensors indicate that there's a number of fires now going on the Venture. There's also a lot of radiation that's now hitting the Venture, but thankfully it seems that they anticipated this and have seen fit to evacuate personnel from anywhere near the outer hull. So, at the moment, the Venture is holding steady against what it's trying to do. For how much longer, you're not sure. The Romulans have used their advantages for now. They are changing formation. It looks like some are looking to keep attacking you, while some are looking to also make a move around you to maybe make a run at the planet. But we will get back to that in just a moment, because now we go down to the surface.
And now for a message from our sponsor.
Do you need Romuleo urgently? If so, then come to Vibers. He'll keep you stocked for weeks.
Now, sadly
This is not
for
a Ferengi-run enterprise.
sadly for Nova, the glowing effect of the mushrooms that she ate has long since ceased. So Nova is no longer glowing. However, you're now out. You don't have EV suits on because you didn't need them before, but now there's a lot of dirt and debris being kicked up by the fact that there's now gravitational waves are playing havoc with the planet. It's causing the crust to start destabilizing, so there's minor tremors going on, but there's also asteroidal impacts going on in the near distance. Some of them are getting rather worryingly close. But of particular note was the way that Unit Hello said that it feels very familiar here for it, and thinks that you should proceed as quickly as you possibly can back towards the hyperstyle hall where you met Assessor Tredik the first time. So it seems Unit Hello is very keen to get moving.
Full sprint to the side.
Now, a full sprint is going to be a bit of a thing, because you're going to be dodging incoming meteorites from above, and this might be a good excuse to try and get you guys to build up a bit more momentum back into your pool. So, nominating the fittest amongst you, and being helped by as many people as can help up to the standard maximum of 5 dice. I'm going to ask for fitness and security test from the group in order to see how well you can dodge incoming rocks from above.
Be Bravo or Nova then, isn't it, for fitness?
It's Natik.
More than likely.
Is it Natik?
Yeah, Natik wins it by a mile.
Natik
Fitness
does
11.
have the most fitness of everybody, yes.
Jesus, yeah. Ah, I see that Bravo has been slacking and dodging on too many pies now that he's promoted.
Alright.
Doesn't skip Mandible D.
Skip. Natik doesn't skip Mandible Day. Every day is
Indeed.
Mandible Day if you're Lieutenant Natik.
So, yeah, who do you want to appoint to be the leaders in this fitness test? I mean, Natik makes it. Alright.
No, not
Not
no,
alright. I
no,
was going to say.
not
Alright, alright, can lead the way. We believe.
I thought Ori would be quite sort of like fit being a.
Well, obviously
Yeah,
he's put more
noted.
emphasis into his brains being the sexy part of
Right.
him.
Right. He's got a very fit brain.
Exactly. Smart is sexy, as we all know.
He takes out for runs every day.
That's
Is he
right.
covered in brains?
Let's pull back.
The brain in a suit.
Let's brain in a suit, and he looks damn good in that suit. I'll have you know.
Right.
Let's pull back that rather disturbing image and go back to what we was trying to do before, which was trying to get a fitness and security test out of the group as you try and use the ruins to your advantage. But the quakes are starting to make some of these ruins topple over, so even the ruins aren't necessarily safe. So the lead is more than likely going to be at this rate Lieutenant Junior Grade Natik, because he is all the fitness. I mean, who is next comparable-wise?
Yeah, it's Bravo then, I think, isn't it?
So that's 2 from Natik, 1 from Bravo. 2 more can contribute if they wish.
What's Nurse Bravo like? Nurse Bravo is fitness 8.
Not bad.
What about Unit Hello?
Also 8.
So,
Actually,
yeah, Nova's
Edwards has got
9.
fitness at 9, so...
Yeah, Nova and Edwards are 9.
Damn,
What if
knew
I chose
should
to just full ball sprint it down the middle?
I knew I should have put fitness up.
Then... Ooh, now you're just begging for misfortune to happen. If you're going to do a full bore sprint, then I am going to give you a D100 50-50 roll here to see if you get hit by an incoming meteorite.
It's alright, she's got a medal for that.
Incoming meteorite!
She's got all the medals. She's got a layer of medals to protect her.
Yes.
Truth.
Ablative medals.
So that was she spots the meteorite, she just throws a medal at it and just throw off its trajectory.
So, if Nova can also give me her own personal fitness and security test, then to represent her sprint, can I get fitness and security from Natik? Who wants to be Natik? If nobody wants, then I will... Who came up with the Natik attack originally? It had to be Gareth, wouldn't it?
Yeah, sounds like me, yeah.
You can do
Sounds like
Natik.
something Gareth would do.
Actually, let's have people who haven't rolled yet.
It's tempting to keep that, but I think I will get it.
Start
up.
crossed.
Oh,
Legion
boy.
of Honor?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Okay, so that meteorite impact was very, very close. But thankfully it didn't actually hit Nova, but she's been now covered in grit and dust as a result of that being so very, very close. Right, can I have... Who hasn't rolled yet? Mike's rolled. Webby hasn't technically rolled, have you?
Nope, I do not believe so.
Davis hasn't rolled. Alex hasn't rolled. Jan hasn't rolled. So that's 4 folks for 4 folks. So, and Sean has just rolled his own one, so... So long, suckers. So... Should we... I mean, both Gareth and Jan are pretty darned good at rolls.
It's a skill.
It is. Let's have Gareth as Natik. Jan as Bravo. Who's got the next one down? Alex, if you could give me a fitness and security to assist from Edwards, and maybe one from Vibers too.
Is this an assist from Natik, or...?
This is Natik taking charge of this, I think, because he's got the highest fitness.
I forgot to come back to you to do with my claim from the last one. Oh well.
Oh well.
Can I focus Starfleet security procedures? The procedure for dodging meteorites.
Is basically to zigzag, innit?
Yeah.
It's duck, dodge, weave, dodge.
Duck, dodge, dive, and dodge.
Fair enough.
Is a security Bravo.
Team successes.
Security Bravo, yes please. Sorry, I didn't realise I forgot there were 2 of them on there. Security Bravo, yes please.
Let's see. Hand-to-hand combat.
Not exactly, no.
Punching me out of the way.
I mean, that can work for Claude, but not you.
Yeah, Claude can
Claude
punch
doesn't need to
meteorites out of
roll.
the score.
Meteors don't avoid claw.
Not a good rolls coming in here, nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool beans. Alright, so it's not as close as Nova's near miss, as she just goes charging off to see how fast she can go. Edwards does have to duck down from a bit of masonry that does fall as a result of incoming meteorite, but doesn't get hit, thankfully, but it is another close call. Otherwise, with Natik's lead, everyone manages to pretty much keep up a good pace and a good zigzag pattern to help you be less likely to catch rock from above, which you all do quite nicely.
Just like playing Parisi squares back on the Pharaoh.
Yes, indeed. So, don't need those guys. We're gonna plant you guys here and hope that I got you in the right order. Yep, we got
Is he a
Natik.
good pilot? with a good ship would have got you closer than where they did.
That ship's a bit big to land outside the door.
Oh,
Could have covered the entrance with a shield.
Yeah. Have you not seen Mass Effect, where they sort of like, they send a ship into orbit and then drop out the Mako at speed,
Who said it had to land on its belly? It could have landed on its side.
Yeah.
You've seen. It's the Intrepid. They're not good at landing anyway.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, it's a piece of junk. They did well.
If it was the Navis, we'd have parked it, sat on the nacelles, straight upright, balanced perfectly on the pin that's hanging at the end.
It's like a Tintin book cover.
Except. At which point Thasnan just dusts off his hands and goes, right, my work here is done. You losers can do the rest. In any case, eventually you do manage to make it to the bridge entrance to what used to be the hyperstyle hall. You can still see the hall, not far away from you, but at the moment, it, like everything else, is under asteroidal bombardment and the unstable Earth. Oh, there you are! Thank goodness! I thought we'd lost you. I was looking to search for you the moment I got over my diatribe that needed to get out, and then all of a sudden there you were. Woo!
It was just like.
Well, that was it. Nova sprinted ahead. She probably, just to make sure that she gave the others a chance to get there on time, did a round robin curve. Just came about this the long way. Hi guys, I made it. So did you. Well done.
You know there was a door back there, right?
Yep. Of course she knew.
If there are no further questions, yes, she did.
Alright, so you recognise this bridge. This was where you first met Assessor Tredik talking to the Romulans, but there are no Romulans here at the moment, so there's just Assessor Tredik, who seems to be patiently waiting for you at the other end of the bridge.
Nova, hello, do you want to go and see what he's after? Edwards, you might be able to help translate?
There is a universal translator, but I'll give it a go.
Well,
Right.
last time you were here, it was a combination of telepathy and words that the universal translator couldn't manage. So, nevertheless, as soon as Nova and Edwards and Hello all make it across to the Assessor, this is where I changed my voice.
We're running out of time. Please, help.
At which point the Assessor, with his multi-jointed fingers, is indicating just past this way, but around a corner, so a way that you hadn't been before.
Let's go.
How am I here twice?
Did I accidentally...
There you go.
It's sorted.
Okay.
Now I know why this the virus that's been getting all the kind of dodgy stuff and that. It's Hans virus. There's been two the whole time.
There is. I have no idea what you could possibly be referring to.
It's called The Matrix, look it up. Sorry, that was a bit rude.
What, the film with no sequels?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it has one sequel, it's just animated. It's weird.
I thought it was a prequel.
Not sure on that one.
Okay. Okie dokie. So, let's get you to here, inside. Okay, this building has a pentagonal entrance near the hyperstyle hall, and Assessor Tredik leads you through the entrance into a long hallway dimly lit with blue energy tendrils coursing along the walls. Tredik, meanwhile mutters in a mixture of language the universal translator cannot decipher, and telepathic images that the characters can sense reverberate in your minds. You are led out of the hallway and into the open air, which is where Tredik is now. You see a raised platform with a ruined pentagonal entrance, along with several pentagonal obelisks in front of you, with various tall stone spires in the near distance. On the platform stands a 2-meter wide stone pentagon with blue energies coursing along its surface. So, the engineers amongst you can have a quick look. Meanwhile, the Assessor seems to be not paying much attention to this and is moving off to another exit, but is not leaving you to your own devices.
Is he still trying to lead us somewhere? Or?
You do get an intense feeling of urgency from him, yes, but he's not shouting at you yet to come with. Those engineers.
Play with the later.
Yeah, okay. Those of you who are looking at this thing, what you see is that the platform contains a flickering image of a tall humanoid alien female, clad in a form-fitting dress with what appear to be wings on its back, and a small sweeping tiara clasped at the back of their head. She has short, dark hair, and the most striking feature of her face is her wide-open eyes that are solid blue, with no evidence of an iris or a pupil. The repeated image appears to be some kind of projected hologram. Where it's coming from and what's powering it, you don't know. But what seems obvious is that you can see the character on the transmission is moving their mouth, but there's no sound coming out of the projection. And it seems to be playing on a repeated loop. At which point, Tredik indicates the transmitter that some of you are looking at, and says,
That has been damaged from the gravimetric storms, but it is not what I wanted to show you.
Assessor Tredik indicates the ruined pentagonal passage that it was trying to lead you down, and it leads towards a long corridor slanting down into the planet's surface. And when you finally reach the end of the path, this is when Assessor Tredik says,
In there is where I need your aid.
Now, I'm going to put a pin in this just briefly, representing you guys just following along and going down where Assessor Tredik needs you to go. But you haven't been hit by big rocks yet, and something sure strange is going on here. But before we deal with that, we are going to have to jump back up to the situation in orbit. So it is now the Navis's turn again. So, you have shields that have been knocked way the heck down to just 2, and you are just over half of your power has been spent, until somebody in engineering or your operations officer, which in this case I think is Daniel Stevens, does a minor action in order to fix the fluctuating power coming out of the engines. Anything to do with the engines will be that much harder to use. So consider what you want to do first.
No, because we suffered a breach. I can attempt a sickbay roll for a particular department to give them a single D20 reroll.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So,
given
in
the
order
power
to...
situation, which department is probably best to try and regain sort of like power and shield, or especially shields? because that's critically bad at the moment.
So isn't the engine's also quite nastily hit?
Yeah, I have to choose a department. I don't think there's an engineering department.
Shields is operations.
When it says department, what it actually means is the departments available on the Navis. So we're talking command, con, engineering, medicine, science, security.
Which one of those do you reckon is best, guys? Engineering to try and. Would
so.
that be regain shields and power?
Engineering and ops overlap each other.
Yes, they do. They count as internal systems, basically. So, a task a character performs in sickbay during starship combat are not meaningfully different. The biggest difference is that those take place in sickbay and can be assisted by sensors or computers and medicine. This will be minor crew injuries throughout the ship, which medical personnel can deal with. When the ship has suffered one or more breaches, characters in sickbay can choose a single department and attempt a daring plus medicine task with a difficulty of 2, assisted by the ship's computers plus medicine. So, seeing as Doc Bertram is going to be giving us the daring in medicine, somebody's going to have to be the ship. Has anybody not rolled yet? I think everybody's had a turn now, haven't they?
I've not rolled yet.
You've not rolled yet? Okay, so you could be the ship, giving me computers and medicine, if that's who wants to go first out of you guys. Well, I say out of you guys. You choose in what order your personnel are acting, so...
If I go early, if we do this early and it works, then...
yeah. If successful, the next task, which uses engineering department, may re-roll 1d20.
Yep. Does that sound okay to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
I'm also gonna...
One success. Very good. We need another one.
So I've thrown in a star cost to double my focus range.
Cool. So that means it should be 10 and under as a... double.
Ooh.
2 successes, so 3 overall, which means you got 1 above what you needed. You can put that extra 1 into the momentum pool, which I've done.
Yep, sounds good.
And that means that now the next task, which uses engineering, can roll a d20. Nice.
Yep.
Very good, very good. So, the doctor and his well-oiled machine of a medical team in sickbay are patching people up as quickly as they can to get them back out. And most of those are from the engineering department, who took a bit of a nasty knock, but so far nothing too serious. Alright, so that's medical. Who's next? Who do you want to go next? You do need to regain power, you definitely need to regain shields.
Shields are more important than power at the minute. We can recycle power at another stage.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say the engineers get the shields back on that end.
So your chief engineer does not have shields as a focus. Ops Stevens does not have shields as a focus either.
Nope.
But she does have a little more power. She does have a little more power as her talent. So technically she might be good at getting stuff back.
But Bravo can throw a determination at it and being calm to the chaos and just solving the problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He also has Chief Engineer.
And I'm giving it all she's got, Captain.
So when aboard the ship, a chief engineer gains the advantage engineering department, which represents the skills of the ship's complements, engineers and technicians, which lowers the thing by 1. And of course, giving it all she's got. Whenever someone attempts a task with power, you roll a challenge die and you can reduce the power requirement. So that's good to remember. He also has collaboration. So whenever an ally attempts a task using that discipline, he can spend 1 momentum and allow them to use his discipline score for that, and one of his focuses. At the moment, I mean, that could be good for giving Stevens a 5 rather than her 4 in engineering, but that's entirely up to you guys, what you want to do. So what do you want to do? What's the captain's next orders?
Well, I think, power. Get the
power.
No, got the shields up, sorry. Shields.
Shields, okay, so restoring shields, you got to nominate who's going to do that, because it's going to be internal systems. So that's going to be Stevens, okay.
Yeah, because I think, like we say, his Bravo's bits can be potentially more useful in engineering.
Sean, since this is usually Nova's department, why don't you roll for Stevens?
Alrighty.
She's trying to regenerate shields, so this will require control and engineering, assisted by the ship's structure and engineering. Mike, could you do me a favour and be the Navis, please?
You want us to spend the momentum to see if we can get a bit more shields.
So from Sean, we want control and engineering. This is difficulty 1 and does cost a point of power. And from Mike, I'm going to want 1 dice, structure and engineering from the ship.
Okay. 1 second.
Ooh, nice.
And what?
And while you're on the ship, Mike, can you reduce the ship's power by 1?
Oh.
Thought Mike was going to roll as a 1 then. Comes back, roll straight into 1s.
Thank you. Keep the ship's character sheet open, Mike. We're going to need you to add more shields. So that was 3 successes. You needed 1. So what you can do is you can either use both of those. We'll get to a little more power in just a sec, but thanks for reminding me, Sean. In fact, whenever you succeed at engineering tasks aboard your own ship, you may spend a momentum to regain 1 spent power. We can look to that when we do power, but for the moment we're doing shields. So yeah, like I said, it was a difficulty 1, you got 3, so those 2 momentum can, either one of them can go back into the momentum pool to give you full momentum, or they can both go into giving you more shields.
I think both into more shields, but
okay.
To what everyone else says as well.
We desperately need shields.
Okay, so the successful roll means that you gain 2 shields, but for each additional momentum you spend, you gain additional 2, so you have regained 6 shields. So, Mike, if you could put the shields back up to 8. Here they go, up they go. There we go.
Alright. Now we're ready.
So, siphoning power from the from engines to shields. Oh, that's a good point. I can delete the engine's impact damage report, because... Well, actually, no, you haven't fixed it yet.
No,
which
not yet.
means that difficulty was actually more than 1. So that was my fault. I won't make you pay for that. That was my thingamajig. That was my fault for forgetting. Everything to do with engines still has to... is increased in difficulty by 1 because you haven't fixed it yet. So that's...
Do we not have an engineer? Or?
Well, we do, and that's... You do, and that's going to be up to Chief Engineer now to what's priority. The good thing is fixing that problem is a quick action, and he can then do something more meaningful as his slow action, so he can do a bit of both. So is Chief Engineer going next?
Sounds like a good plan. Captain?
Oh, wait a minute. We need to roll a challenge die because of Bravo's I'm giving it all she's got. Oh dear, we've got one of those. And hi, Dave. The Combs is certainly your crew. But let's...
so, single challenge die, was it?
Single challenge die. If you what is that? That's a load of leopard spots as far as I can see. No successes, so it still costs a point of power. I think. Let me read that again. Whenever someone attempts a power requirement, roll a challenge die. On an effect, reduce it by 1 to a minimum of 0. Yeah, so that wasn't an effect. Sadly, that power point still comes out. But it's good to remember.
Well.
Now, it also bears mentioning... what was I going to say? Because I looked at somebody's comment there on chat. You can have the same department try the same check twice, but you need to spend a momentum to do it, and the difficulty of doing it is raised by 1. So, it is possible for your chief engineer to... what am I trying to get to here? He can do shields again if necessary, but it's going to be a little harder to do it, is what I'm trying to drive at. But for now, is your chief engineer going next, or are you going to try something else with one of the other departments first? Bearing in mind, if you don't repair that damage to the engines before Thazanan does his attack or evasive maneuvers, it's going to be harder for him to do so.
I think try and get the engines back online a bit more.
Yeah.
This is...
I do not suffer a penalty for damaged engines.
Ooh! I forgot about that.
So, Fazanan, the engines are damaged. I can compensate. No,
Yeah.
by damage, the bit of floor beneath them has fully disintegrated and they fall into space. I don't need them to fly.
I don't need engines. Where we're going, we don't need engines.
How many torpedoes a second is he firing?
He's using
Not
the aft
enough.
torpedo launcher as propulsion, I see.
Fazanan, both the cells have fallen off. I can still get to warp. I'm that damn good. I'm Commander Fazanan.
No, the port nacelle still works when it's not attacked. We don't talk about that.
It will be action at a distance.
Right, so... you need your chief engineer, so Davis, since you used to be chief engineer here, get your boy to give me a control and engineering check in order to quickly overcome that engineering problem. This is a quick action, because this is a basic restore. He's just rerouting power around the problem.
It's not a
This
problem,
should be
it's a
easy for
solution.
him, and as a result you gain an extra
Captain.
momentum. So that damage report has gone. The breach is still
Right.
there, but the damage report is gone.
We fixing the breach, or we getting more power to shield?
Shields.
If you want to do shields
no.
again, you can, or you can try and get some power back. Or, what else can
Captain's call.
internal systems do? Power management, regenerate shields, send a damage control team which attempts to repair a single breach. Yes, you can attempt to repair a breach. A breach? Why would you want to repair a breach?
I want to repair the beach.
Repair a breach! Let me get my
We
enunciation
constantly-
correct.
We're constantly repairing our beaches where I live. Because the
Yeah.
sand gets washed away.
Oh, that's a shame.
We just fill them full of rubble and hope for the best.
The holodeck malfunction and just put it on the breach. Doing it how to beach in the breach.
It's
Just
gonna be
pour
a
sand
again.
into it. It's fine. It'll plug up eventually. Right, what do we want to do? Power or more shields or repair a breach? What would you like your chief engineer to do?
Captain's goal.
Power, shields, or breach?
I think shields.
I
We've
think
still got
shields.
Stevens to add a bit more power.
Okay.
Alright then,
Right,
so this is going to be another attempt to use internal systems to regenerate shields. So now this is going to be control and engineering from Bravo. Can I get someone to be the Navis?
And that.
Mike, you may as well take the Navis again,
Alright.
since science doesn't get a heck of a lot to do during a fight. Once again, this is going to be structure and engineering, so the same thing as before, just one dice. This does require 1 point of power. From your chief engineer, I would like control and engineering. This is difficulty 2 now.
Do I reduce the power then?
Reduce the power by 1, please, yes. And then give me structure and engineering 1 dice from the Navis.
Come on, girl, you got this.
She does got this. Nice, nice, nice. And from the chief engineer, we got 5 successes in total.
Wow.
Damn! Looks like a determination was spent there.
Shields.
Bravo's calm in the chaos.
Nice. So, that was difficulty 2. You got 5, which means 3 over 6. You got 8 shields back, so you're back up to 16 shields now. Woof! Whoop-a! Much
don't
better.
know what they're playing about on the bridge. Don't they know about the secondary warp core?
Bravo just ran in and pressed sort of like the port nacelle button.
No, secondary core to main shields. Is there anything else?
All right then. So that's your.
Just the button that says do a Scotty.
Do a somersault.
Meanwhile, on the bridge of the main Romulan ship, the captain. Good news is we destroyed their shields. The bad news is at the time it took me to tell you that
this.
they regrew their shields.
And they're now green.
Right. So
They're now angry, Captain.
you've done internal systems. You've done sickbay. You've still got sensors, navigation, command, and tactical remaining to you.
Right. I think we will command it now to get people to be more aligned. I think are we going to sound gun the main ship? I want to be told to attack.
It's up to you. You need to get in the same zone as it to do that because it's a close weapon. So
Do that without allowing some of the others to get past us.
it's a good point.
All right then. Yeah. Shall we just?
You know what would be convenient? Is there like a convenient gravitational sort of distortion down there that we can detonate to see if it can resonate with the singularities that they use and start blowing them up that way?
Just detonate a gravitational anomaly so that their black hole drives collapse. Yes, because that's not going to put us in front of the Starfleet scientific community, is it?
There might be one nearby, but it is currently launching a planet at us, so I don't think making it go fast is gonna help.
Yeah.
Please point on the ship where the Navis touched you.
If they didn't want us to destroy their singularity engines into mini black holes, they shouldn't be using singularity engines.
Bad Navis.
Well, so it comes again to my next question. What would you like? Which department do you want to go next? Is the captain going to use command to make somebody take their turn or to create an advantage?
I think we'll create an advantage, and
Okay.
then we'll get Caval to fly to do sort of like an attack pattern or defensive attack pattern like we did last time,
Or
and
both,
then just have
like he did last time. But the commanding officer can create an advantage. Okay. Control or insight or reason, whichever you want to do, plus command. Difficulty 2.
what was it? Control, insight.
Can be
or
either
reason?
control or insight or reason,
Control.
but command as a discipline.
Battlefield tactics is a.
Makes sense.
And can I spend a momentum, guys?
Yep, go
Go
for it.
for it.
I definitely. Woof. Which is my way of saying, well done, you did very well.
You all did very well.
So
Thank
those
you,
go
Mr.
straight back.
Grace.
Right then, so what kind of advantage do you want to create? Do you want to make it easier to hit them? Do you want to make it harder for them to hit you?
I think it's. I want to let Claw have fun with the quantum, so it's like.
I think
it's
a bonus
an
on
advantage
it.
to hit.
That's good because I think when it's my action, I won't be able to do the attack button because I'll have to do maneuver to close distance and evasive.
So we'll call
Yeah,
this
good.
advantage attack priority. It'll make it'll lower the difficulty of attacking a target by 1. Okay, so that's that from command. You've still got helm and science. May as well do science. Who are using sensors. So Mike, this time you can actually use your subordinate, Lieutenant Monod, and let's have Gareth be the Navis because his sickbay has gone. Or we could have someone else be the Navis if somebody else fancies being the Navis. Nope. Okay. We are scanning for weakness. Scanning.
So, I think I'm rolling sensors in. Would that be security for
It would be, yes, indeed. And so, Mike from Lieutenant Mono, with a focus on sensors, can I get control and science, please?
Alright.
One success from the Navis.
Which is all you need, really. But you are currently... It's actually going to be difficulty 2 now that I look at it, because the difficulty is the distance as well. But I think you got this. You more than got this. You got an extra one on top, so there we are. Your weapons now count as having piercing 2.
Go Mono!
So he's actually found it very useful now to have done what was suggested, which was a brush up on his sensor operation.
Let's promote him.
Well, that's entirely your prerogative. I will note, however, it will be a bit weird for Lieutenant Ori to be giving orders to a lieutenant commander.
Well, it is what it is.
Which is possibly Lieutenant Ori's roundabout way of going, so if you give him a promotion, that means you have to promote me too, right?
Or it's a case
Ori
of...
doesn't deserve a promotion.
Yeah, or it's a case of Ori's just turning around and saying, I'm not fit for the commander position, please give it to me.
Exactly.
You know, if we've got too many high-ranking people in the crew, they promote them to other ships, right?
Uh-oh.
We'll get to that when we get to that, but for the time being, we've done...
Leave the Navis.
We've done advantage, we've done
It's
sensors.
alright.
I believe it's
We'll
time
send Bravo
for
off the
Helm.
second in command of the cone.
So for Helm, I shall steal 2 momentum to do a second reaction. The first action will just be to maneuver to anywhere within medium distance, so that we can end up in the same zone as our intended target.
So if you want to
And then-
move the Navis as well then to where you want to be.
Where do we want to be? I guess. And then the other action will be the invasion.
Right, so evasive action is going to be... This is going to be difficulty 2 now, isn't it? Because it's a secondary task. This has a power requirement of 1, so the Navis is going to take a point of power loss, which I will do now. Actually, somebody can roll a challenge dice to see if your chief engineer's giving it all she's got. Actually, it does! You don't pay that point of power. Nice.
Haha! We found the emergency power tap.
So my question is,
Yep.
do I spend another 2 momentum to not increase the difficulty of any shots because of evasion?
Yeah,
Or do
the
we
downside
leave
of
it?
an evasive action means that it's harder for you to shoot.
How's everyone else feeling? I'm happy to spend it. We're at 4, it puts us down to 2.
Yep.
But at the same time, that only leaves us with 2 momentum for the ground side. But again, ground side have got a lot of full determination.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like we're doing it.
And I shall use a star cross.
Double your discipline score. Okay, cool. Now this evasive action is going to be daring plus con, difficulty 2. Sean, can I get you to be the Navis and give me structure plus con, please?
But I might just as well use determination as well.
Oh, putting everything into it. We're giving it all we've got, Captain.
Daring con.
Sean, did you catch my request?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just loading it now.
Cool, cool. Sorry, you were muted, so I didn't know if you were away from your computer or what. So. So there we have it from the Navis. The old girl's feeling the turn a little bit, so she's not as much help, but nevertheless, 4 successes. So difficulty 2 means you get 2 of those momentum back. So you're back up to 4, which is cool, and you've executed evasive action, which means that the difficulty to hit you is now 1 greater. Okay. That's everything from Thazanan, or has he got more to do?
No, I think that's it. The maneuver action and the evasive maneuvers.
Yeah. Okay. So, Command has created an advantage, Science Sensors has created the piercing quality, Helm has created evasive. I think we've exhausted all other options. It's down to Claude to press the button. So it comes down to... Do you go for the quantum torpedoes, or do you go for the slightly stronger phaser array?
Or the sound gun. Well, was it the sound gun?
What was that, sorry, yeah?
If you want to take prisoners, because it doesn't take a round to set up and a round to actually fire, because you have to hack in.
The sound gun, yeah.
We'll go full Dakar on the phasers, I think, then.
Okay.
The quantums, if the quantums breach... Actually, the phasers are experimental, aren't they? Do we go for the full, all-out experimental phaser?
If you do, I'm going to need you to basically buy the advantage with another point of momentum.
That's everyone's thoughts.
Yeah, sure. If things go wrong, we can always ram.
Right. Here we go.
Okay, using the experimental phases. Alrighty.
Wait a minute. Is that a type of torpedo?
No.
The torpedo built out of photons.
Alright, so you're aiming for the wingman using experimental phases. Basically now it comes down to Claude. So let's see, you are in close range, so the difficulty is usually 2 for phases. You have knocked it down by 1 with attack priority, but it's gone back up. Oh no, it hasn't, because you spent momentum in order to make sure it didn't knock it up. So it's actually difficulty 1, control and security, and the ship. Let's see, Davis, you can be the ship this time. This is going to be weapons and security from the Navis, and this is going to cost a point of power. So can I have Webby roll a challenge dice for me, please?
Challenge.
Challenge! It doesn't cost a point of power. Very efficient power going on here. 1 success from the next.
All power to the claw button. They knew it was coming. It's just like,
Alright, so now that's the Navis is given 1 success.
Left in the secondary reactor.
So that was the 1 success you needed to hit, so anything that Claude generates now is extra.
I said that he's using I am Claude as well.
Wow, okay.
Who's rolling?
Well, it is your fan. You're the fangirl, Webby. You may as well. We all know how much you like to roll as Claude.
Starship combat tactics.
Absolutely.
Use determination to guide.
Very good. 3 successes, so 2 over and above what you wanted. You can either go with the damage as is, and I'll roll a percentile to see if you manage to get through the shields or not. And you got 2 extras, so they can either go into the momentum pool or they can go into extra damage, whichever way you want to do it.
Damage.
Homage.
Okay.
What the stats were. Was it 10% it penetrates and 20% chance it blows the phaser array?
That's for me to know and you to find out. Roll phaser array damage. And roll an extra 2 afterwards. Oh yeah, I forgot to do this. Okay, groovy, so that was 1 and 1 not. So that was a 6 and a 4. Right, so you've made 11 successes. So the thing with phaser arrays, is that they have this nifty little function called spread. Whereupon, if you get any effects, the first effect goes into saying that it's not only one beam that hits, but a second beam that hits. And every extra effect after that, so we're left with 2. So we'll deal with the first shot, which is 11. You've got armor piercing of 2 for your shot, so that means that they take 4, which leaves 7. Sadly, this does not go straight through their shields, as your phasers kind of... The array beams kind of flicker and flip between different kind of, well, phases. In order to try and see if they can penetrate the shields. But it seems that whatever the Romulans have got, at this point in time, whatever phaser resonance it was going through did not manage to go straight through the shields, but time. Actually, you rolled an extra 2 there, which was 1 extra point, so let me take that off. Now, you have caused more than 5 or more damage after taking resistance away, so they suffer a breach. Cool. And you have got extra effects. So normally with spread, we half what you had. What you had was actually 12, so we narrow that down to 6, but then we add the 2 extra effects, which brings it up to 8, which means they take an extra 4. That wasn't greater than 5, so no more of that, but you've pretty much blasted their shields almost... Well, you've blasted their shields down to pretty much what yours were before you regained them. So that was an impressive shot. Plus you got a you got some damage in there with a breach. Very nice indeed. Now this is where things get interesting. The Romulans pass communications between each other once again and set themselves up to assist each other. So these guys move in from outside, but as a result do not tag their attack patterns in. So that's 1 and 2. Flanking maneuvers makes you easier to hit by that much. But I'm going to have to tag this one somehow to let me know that it's friendly. So let's take off hostile and give it a friendly aura. As the other Romulan ships come around, the allied ship, the fake Romulans as we call it, this one, opens fire on this vessel, which catches them completely off guard. Which means that that essentially nullifies one of those, so you're no longer caught in a crossfire. Which means it's just these 2 guys, so they will get the number requisite. That one's lost that, so they will only regain 2 shields, but no power. Which means we are down to disruptors. So let's see. It's plasma pistol. And that was a plasma torpedo? No, it was a plasma... It was a thingy hit. A thingy hit? Well done, Matt. Very descriptive.
Disruptor.
Disruptor, the Romulan's most feared and confusing weapon.
The disruptor. So, let's see. 2 disruptors... 2 sets of disruptors going off against the Navis. Fire number 1. Ooh, and fire number 2. So hit number 1 was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Hit number 1 was from this guy. He still gets piercing off of that because he didn't spend power. So that's that down to 5. You had 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which means 6. Which means you're now down to 10 shields. That was 5 or over, which means you suffer a breach. Not random. Deck. It's a system hit. Let's see where it ends up. Structure. Uh-oh. That's your
Nova has her ability, doesn't she? Not my ship.
You've used it already once.
Ah.
That was why you didn't get so badly damaged in the first salvo that came your way. Sadly, this is another structure breach, which means that if the total number of breaches is equal to or greater than half the scale of the ship.
Oh.
Now, at the moment, it's 2, so it has to be 3. But once again,
I forgot to use
impact.
my tactics medal that I've got.
Whoops. Good news is, once again, no named NPC on your ship actually gets wounded by that structural attack. But now we go for the second Warbird's damage, which was almost the same as the first one. This one's 10 minus 5 is 5, which is another breach. It's weapons this time. Weapons have been hit and suffer a breach, so feel free, while I'm looking this up, to give me the Star Trek shake once again. As Claught's control panel sparks and starts to smoke. Whenever the weapon system suffers one or more breaches, it disrupts those functions until the tactical officer performs the restore minor action, which is a quick action. The ship cannot make any attacks, nor can it attempt any other task which will be assisted by the ship's weapon systems.
So what you're telling me is Claught's button is broken.
He hit it that hard it fell out the bottom of the console. He's just scrambling on the floor now to pick it up.
He's a powerful enemy today.
So I'm just going to move.
Just giving like Mr. Kamal ramming speed. They want to play without weapons? Fine. We're going to fly between the neck of the stage Rex and just break it in half.
So the Navis has got alarms going off. You've got damage reports, damage control teams spreading throughout the ship now, with the second structural hit definitely. But interestingly enough, now you've gone from having to face down 4 Warbirds to half that many, as the friendly Warbird starts taking on the one you damaged earlier in a pitched firefight. As this is going on, once again, there is an alert from the sensor panel in front of Lieutenant Monod that states that another gravitational wave is surging out and the planet is definitely getting a lot closer. The Venture this time has to expel a massive wave of gravitons and manages to convert some of it, but not all of it, and suffers as a result a horrendous amount of backwash, which seems to knock the ship askew and causes more internal damage. They are holding position and are trying to reorientate themselves in order to try and keep these gravitational distortions back from pummeling the planet and yourselves whilst you're engaging the Romulans, but it is causing serious damage to the Venture doing this now. Sensors are reporting several major fires inside of the Venture, and then engineering section looks like is having to be evacuated of personnel due to a potential coolant breach. But they do apparently have it in hand, under control at the moment. So, let's go back down to the surface. So, let me find the place I want you to go, because apparently I didn't bring it out. No, I didn't. So, you had... wrong place. You had been following Assessor Tredik down into the bowels of this facility, whatever it is. But But apparently whatever Assessor Tredik wanted to show you is down this way. The sound of the asteroidal impacts are now muted, but as you go further and further underground, you can start to feel the impacts as they're steadily getting larger and larger. Let me delete him from there because I'm going to have him in 2 places at once. Okay. And let me activate this map for you, so you should hopefully be able to see this. Can everybody confirm for me that they can see this?
Mm-hmm.
Excelente. So, you're in now a small chamber that on first glance has the feel of an ancient control room. One side of the chamber is made of opaque glass, which is this side here. And as Tredik then swipes one hand through the air, and the glass slowly turns transparent. What it reveals staggers your senses. The control room appears to be situated at the top of a massive chamber dug deep into the planet's surface. For as far as you can see, down into the darkened depths are rows upon rows of connected pentagonal sarcophagi, which are attached to pentagonal spires so massive their bases cannot be seen. There are thousands of spires and even more thousands of sarcophagi attached to them. Very faint blue energies course up and down the spires and into the sarcophagi.
We have a problem.
For a closer look, you can go up to the glass, of course. I better change this to be...
A few more people than would fit on.
Wait a minute. If
the
they're in this reality, because the general head theory that was going on was considering the voices came when the big hand came out of the rift. I was thinking they're in another dimension, but if they're in some sort of stasis,
Where's Oriana?
what happened to... Now, Matt, Alex's memory has failed. Please, could you remind me of the ensign that we lost to the big hand?
Lieutenant Turin, yes.
Lieutenant,
Vulcan xenoarchaeologist, yes.
That's it, Lieutenant Turin. So, yeah, if they're there, what happened to Turin? Because it all looked like they're in some sort of alternate space, some sort of...
Let me find the notes on this. Hang on a second. You are asking the right questions.
I was looking at you and saying, that doesn't make sense.
At the moment, it seems that Assessor Tredik is actually ignoring you all, and is just frantically tapping away at the controls. Those of you who are standing near the glass, you do notice that many of the spires are entirely dark. No doubt damaged or unpowered due to whatever reason. Tredik then looks up and indicates the massive holding chamber beyond. And let me get his voice back. To the right one? Yep.
These are mine to safeguard. The Tillikal. I am their ward. I have failed them. But I can save them with your help.
What do you need? We'll sort out a price after.
4 bottles of Romulan ale.
No, we'll sort out terms and everything else.
You've been really hanging around the Orions too much, because that's how they do business. Once you're indebted to us, then we'll say the price.
No, we're not getting you indebted. We'll just work everything out at the end.
It is actually, it is proper. Vibers is following Starfleet, kind of like to the book there, is that a sentient race is in potential peril and they have asked for help. We're like, okay.
Oh, no, I'm not criticising, it's just how you said it.
Screw the consequences, we'll find out what happens later.
And also, screw the Ocampa.
Screw the...
I want to go home.
Yes,
know
for
what
those...
these are for?
What was that, sorry, Mike?
Okay.
Do we know what these structures are for? What are they doing?
Well, Assessor Tredik speaks up at this point.
The Tilical have been placed in suspended animation for eons, and there is no way to revive them until their displaced consciousnesses are returned. And at the moment, there is no way currently for them to return.
I was afraid you said that. That's what's in the other space.
I need your help. I need your help to restore enough of the power connections to this room so that the Tilical's bodies can be teleported away from the planet to safety.
Let's do it. Science.
Okay.
Alright, just like, is it quantum?
Well, we'll get to
Can
that.
I touch electricity?
So, Tredik indicates that there are several tasks that have to be accomplished in order to, practically in order as well, in order to accomplish what we need. So,
Where is
first-
Zorai?
where is
Who did he
Ulrich?
find en route? Oh,
Oh,
there.
he's over there.
Yeah.
So, Mike,
He's
you
looking at him.
did ask a question, and I hope I answered it.
Yes.
Which was, what do these things do? So,
Thank you. All right, let's help him.
okay. Apparently, the first task that needs to be seen to is to reconnect some of the broken circuit connections built into the walls.
Okay. Grabs a handful of wires.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Those of you with knowledge of science and engineering, the best way is, of course, to physically remove the damaged stuff, and to try and see if it's repairable, and if not, try and create a bypass. So,
Right, just ask Captain Blackford for some spare wires. I'm sure he's got some on his useless piece of junk of a ship.
I would like to volunteer Edwards to lead this with his ancient technology plus Tilical familiarity, and he has in the nick of time.
aha. Now, at the moment, this isn't an extended task. These are
Okay.
a sequence of linear tasks. So,
Okay then, well, just the first two then.
but Edward still has the the familiarity and the foci to assist. I have just remembered someone very, very crucial to this, who is hovering next to Nova, because just as Assessor Tredik came over, Unit Hello was hovering in front of the central the central system. And where is...
He's so dreamy.
Unit Nova. This unit believes it was once part of a network of machines very similar to this. This unit has a number of protocols that appear to be necessary for the proper function of devices such as these. This unit requires your permission to interface with the system.
It's on Vibers. If Vibers doesn't say no.
I mean, Nova's gonna say yes, but I think she'd ask Tredik first. Because he's within earshot, I'd imagine, of hearing that.
Tredik does look busy, but then does look up at what's going on, and has a bit of a puzzled look on their face. So I'm going to have to go back to to their voice. Where is
Your
it? Where is it? Where is it?
software, our hardware, it's a mix.
Yes.
It's a
So
match.
yes, without you having to say it, yeah, that basically explains it. So yeah, so Tredik has obviously got questions, but very much seems the time is of the essence here, and so seems in the mood
Tomorrow's
to accept
problem.
any help.
Sounds like a yes to me. In you go.
God damn it. God damn it, Navis. You're supposed to
Compliance.
it's like, it's tomorrow's problem.
So one of Unit Hello's little tentacle appendages kind of switches to an interface port, as he was meant to. I'm anthropomorphizing the thing, as it was meant to. And then connects one, then connects two. And the display that usually shows Hello's little smiley face then starts to flicker and shows a load of screed of basically Tilical data just rushing past.
It flickers and shows two little red eyes and sort of like a really dark smile, like.
And that was a bad idea to mention the phaser arrows.
Commander Vipers, delete.
I am now giving
Oh,
you
no,
access
wait,
to
new
an
text.
advantage.
Did I ever mention the emergency transporter I keep under my sleeve?
It's just like Latoon now.
I thought you were going to say that you installed into Hello, so it just like gets teleported into space, random vacuum. So, not today, AI revolution. Beep.
So anyone who is doing anything with the actual systems in this room now have the difficulty reduced by 1 because you now have collectively the advantage of Unit Hello's Tilical Control System Specialist.
Okay. Still said volunteering for this one to lead it, but obviously the commander can decide who should be the best person for this.
Well, what I want for this is going to be a fitness and engineering task with a difficulty of, well, now 0.
Alright.
So we can't fail?
You can roll complication though, so
Go ahead, go plug things in.
so this is representative of you ripping the damaged stuff out. So this is why fitness, because you're physically ripping the requisite stuff out and whatever else. 3 successes from Edwards. Nice. Anybody else helping? Like Ori?
With a fitness plus engineering?
Fitness and engineering.
Ed's is the second other person that's had his hands deep in the guts of these type of machines.
1 dice. Any foci? Not really, not at this point. Just enthusiasm.
That would be... Alright, you know why not? Let's do it. Let's see.
Complications on 2 dice. On 1 dice. 7.
You said 1 dice?
1 dice, please, because you're assisting rather than doing this yourself. Excellent. Okay, so that's still 3. So you get 3 back to the momentum pool. So you're back up to full momentum again. Cool.
Good job, Laura.
So... Now, some of the systems outside in the sarcophagus chamber will need to have the same treatment. So somebody's going to need to volunteer for going out there along rather narrow walkways in order to see if they can repair some of the circuitry out there. So who wants to volunteer for this?
I'll do it. Alright.
You've already done something, Mike, as is so this is kind of going on at the same kind of time.
I think that sounds like a Nova.
Sounds like a Nova.
No, but we need someone to perform a miracle over there.
The Teak's like, I'm nimble.
So basically, Natik and Security Chief Bravo are kind of covering the door as well, because, you know, they were Romulans sighted, so you never know.
We don't know if they snuck over there and it's Nova doing something dangerous. I think Natik's going with.
Okay, fine, because Natik's got all the fitness in the world, so Natik can certainly assist.
No, it's less the fitness, more the might be able to grab Nova before she plummets to a doom.
Gotcha. So this is fitness and engineering. Nova is leading. Nova does have... well, try anything once. Inner workings and tinkering and all that, so focuses apply, definitely. Natik, however, has none. So, Gareth, you haven't got to do anything in a bit. You can be a Natik again.
Okay.
Fitness and engineering. Starcross, nice. From Nova. Let's see how you do.
It gives you a success.
Oh, Jesus, Natik.
Hoo-ha! And 3, which means That is an overwhelming success from the team who go in. So basically, when you guys volunteer to go outside, Assessor Tredik kind of waves their hands again, and a breach in the glass opens up, enough for 2 people to pass, and a walkway that spans the distance between the nearest sarcophagus, what do they call them, spire, extends out from the control room. So you basically walk out and find some other damaged circuitry and whatever else, rip them out and try and patch the ones that you can patch, or just disable the ones that need disabling. I'm glad my insect intelligence has impressed you, Mammal, from Lieutenant Commander Bravo of Security.
I'm not sure why that came from Bravo. That was supposed to come from the Teak.
Maybe their Betazoid telepathy has malfunctioned and they've joined with the Teak.
Bravo's admitting he's not. He's like, he's not a mammal. He is an insect. Just bunch of cockroaches under a mask.
All your base.
Turns out the Bravos were changelings all along.
Yeah, everyone on board is changeling except for Lieutenant Edwards.
You're not
Right.
supposed to tell him that. The Obsidian Order won't be pleased.
What did the Obsidian Order know?
Well, we're not going to
got
tell you.
I was going to say, if they were so smart, why'd they get blown up so easily?
Yeah, if they're so smart, how come everyone knows their existence? If the Federation had any sort of secret police, no one would know they existed. It's a good job we don't.
Yep.
Right then. Next task we're going to need you to do is to reboot the secondary power regulator. This will be a reason and engineering task with a difficulty of 2. So who wants it?
Okay. I think that leads me.
Actually, this is... Yep, I'm going to spend a threat to keep this at difficulty 2. I got all this threat, I may as well use it.
So that's control and engineering and...
Reason and engineering for this,
Oh,
please.
reason and engineering, and of course 6 impossible things before breakfast.
Okay.
And it's a computer, so I've got focus in that.
This is a secondary power regulator, not a computer.
Oh, that's
Nice
a
try.
power system.
It's a power
I've
system.
got focus in that.
That's more like it. 3 successes, you needed 2, you got 1, well done. Very good. So now you need to reboot the primary power regulator. This is a reason, and engineering task. I'm going to up it to difficulty 4.
Oh dear, do we have to give this to Bravo Security?
And I'm also going to spend a threat in order to up the complication range by 1. So, this is a reason and engineering task, difficulty 4. Put whoever you want, you think appropriate on it.
Okay, does anyone have a manual?
We burnt it on the way in.
You left it underneath. You left it under the leg of the coffee table.
Unit Hello puts one singular little tentacle up and gives it a wave to everybody to remind everybody that it's there.
Looks busy downloading all the data.
Well, maybe. So, procedural compliance. By spending 2 momentum to create an advantage, you may re-roll a d20 during the next engineering task. Are you spending 2 momentum in order to create this advantage?
Yep.
Alright, knock the momentum out. So you can re-roll a d20 during the next engineering task, which I am assuming is going to be whatever comes next.
Okay.
So this is
Who's
the
helping
difficulty
on this
4
one?
Or I can help.
Yep, or I can jump in.
Yeah, good reason.
Nova could too. I mean, 1,
Hello?
2, 3, 4, 5. Hello is kind of plugged in to the system and is giving you the reduction in 1 of difficulties. So if you can ask him, you can ask Unit Hello to assist, but that will remove the advantage.
Yeah. So that's 1 from Edwards.
Okay, that's another 1 from Nova.
Okay, alright. Do you want to throw 1 in?
Yeah.
Reason and engineering, please. This is to activate a primary power regulator, so any foci to do with
Oh.
power. 17, that's not bad. It could have been worse.
Okay.
Oh, hello there.
Navis,
I can re-roll one dice. This is not going well.
Not indeed. But you got a 1, which is exactly what you wanted to roll when you re-roll something. So you
We
avoided
have
the
3
complication.
dice total.
I've just realized. I've just seen that Vibers has ventriloquism as a talent. What?
That was
Wait,
recent. You don't remember why?
I can't remember that one.
I mean, is that for the pan he's holding so you can have it speak back?
Hang on a second.
I
1,
am
2,
Commander
3,
Vibers.
4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, constant thing. That was because we were trying to. There was something about him trying to get someone to think he was somewhere else.
Remember all those
Not around
times
the corner?
Vipers couldn't possibly be in the port nacelle because you heard him somewhere else?
He's always been in the port. He is the port nacelle.
Made manifest.
This is not the port nacelle. Can you
I-
please stop realizing that we actually have 4 nacelles on this ship and multiple dealers and contraband?
I am nacelle.
Right. So basically, you failed to. You failed the task, so you failed it by 1. If you want somebody, Edward's got 1 success, which is all you can ask. I mean, Nova has still got determination. She could try and Sean could try and re-roll Nova's dice. Likewise, or I could try the same. You spend a point in determination to re-roll. Because otherwise, your other choice is to succeed at cost, which means that something happens.
I got a question.
Yes.
I have forgotten. What do values do again?
So values are a way of basically giving you justification for spending determination.
Okay, I have nothing that's beyond repair.
There we go. That'll do fine. That'll give you really good justification for a expenditure of determination.
Okay, I spent 1.
So if you can find where you rolled your 17, there's a yellow re-roll results button underneath it you might want to press.
And set it to 1 dice.
Set it to 1 dice only, yes. Do you know what I'm talking about, Mike, or can you not find it? No, you found it.
Oh my gosh!
Wow, that was, well, slightly worse.
All right.
Okay.
He's just gonna sit in the corner and look at stuff.
Yikes.
How many dice did you roll out of interest?
We have rolled 5. We're re-rolling dice now. So Nova's is the only one that hasn't re-rolled, and
I wish I'd
basically.
used my star-cross. Oh well.
I'll be back in a minute.
No problem. He's so upset over that failure that he's just
I
going
have to
away.
go cry in the bathroom.
So who rolled on that one? Alright, Vibers. And
So
Unit
Edwards.
hello counts as a part of the ship's computer, right?
Why?
Nope, it's never been allowed to connect.
Definitely counts, right?
Why?
Technical expertise, force a second reroll.
Assisted by. Whenever you attempt a task assisted by, you may roll a single in your dice pool. Okay, so Viper's re-rolled 1. That means he can re-roll the 18. That's okay. That's one more. That's one more success. That's what you needed.
Vibers
Woo!
just scraping the barrel. I got this. I got this.
I got something for this.
So somehow it's like
Somehow the manual did help.
And I got a manual that I got Unit Hello to just write and send quick. This is not going
Oof.
well.
That was oof, blimey, that was close. Okay. All right then. So you've managed to reboot the primary power regulator.
Why is it written half in Ferengi?
Ooh, what do I do? Excuse me a second, I've got to make an executive decision as to... You did succeed, but what happens next as a result of everything you managed to accomplish or not? Okay, so the only thing that's left to do now, for now, is for you guys basically to activate the teleportation sequence, which is going to require multiple stations acting concurrently. So you guys are going to have to help Assessor Tredik use essentially a very complicated transporter system to try and get a log on all of the Tilical currently in physical stasis, and to transport not only their bodies but also their stasis units to another location. Thankfully, it seems that Assessor Tredik has a location for you to send. The only thing left to do is to actually get them there. Which, even under the best of circumstances, as I'm sure Lieutenant Latude would tell you, your chief, your transporter chief, sometimes these things don't go according to plan. So this is going to require a control and engineering check from whoever wants to take it in whatever capacity they want to take it in regards to operating a massive transporter device. So, or I can probably use something like warp field dynamics to assist here, because you are essentially warping space. Nova, with her usual tinkering technology and inner workings. Vibers, of course, with warp field dynamics and power systems as well. Edwards, naturally, with his ancient technology in trying to guide people.
Also, the reason why it leaves, I also want to throw in value. Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Because he's determined. He's still sticking with his head. That first time he got his hand in there, and it went wrong during the self-destruct. It's like the basic justification of he knows how to not. At least by this much time being in these machines, to not force it to explode. At least he likes to think he does.
Okay. So, if you're spending a determination, that means one less person can actually assist. So who actually wants to assist with this attempt at a massive transport?
Not Ori.
Not Ori. Okay. Ori standing back and going, I've had enough of my luck going wrong today. I'm taking a step back. I am doing the same as I did before. Okay, it's all on Edwards then. Does he do it? Now, I did up the complication range, but luckily for him, and the
doesn't the familiarity bring it back down again a bit?
Yes, indeed. But well, the familiarity brings the difficulty down. That with Tilical Control System Specialist brings it down again. But I used threat to put it back up somewhat and up the complication range. Luckily for you, you got 4 successes, which was 1 over and above what you needed to get in my head after things were reevaluated. And yes, there is a massive hum as you see not just the bodies inside the sarcophagi, but the sarcophagi themselves and the spires all disappear in a sudden massive discharge of energy. Assessor Tredik then kind of slumps to the floor and says, well, as soon as it'll activate.
My task here is done. My purpose fulfilled. I can do no more. Leave me. Save yourselves. This planet is doomed. Even now we can sense the enemy above are attempting to land troops. This is your chance to escape before the other planet destroys this one. Thank you for your help.
Can we contact the Bellerophon from here?
Yes, you can.
Fibers to Bellerophon, 8 to beam up.
Give me a second.
Would Tredik not come with us?
Travis isn't giving him a choice by that guy.
Either Tredik or Lois left out. I don't know which.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 9 to beam up.
I was pretty sure I counted 9, that's why.
I
One, two,
only
three, four, five, six,
counted
seven,
8 because Ori was so far off to the right hand side, sulking in the corner. Right, he's
I counted Bravo once.
Technically I counted 10 because I can see Tredik twice. But...
Okay, so you contacted the Bellerophon and you get... Bellerophon transporter room here, Commander. Stand by. It's a bit tricky to get a lock on you from here. Okay, we're going to attempt.
Tell them to do what the tune does.
Stand by. Energizing. As the transporter beam starts to energize and you feel that familiar tingle and you see that blue glow, it does encapsulate Assessor Tredik as well. But Tredik looks up at the beam descending down around them, looks at their hands and then makes a gesture, and suddenly the transporter beam around them cuts out, and it just gives you a nod as you beam away to the Bellerophon. So we are going back to the surface. You tried, but it seems like the Assessor did not want to be saved.
Now tell the Bellerophon, now you've got to do it for the entire Tilical race.
Fibers to Blackford, we've managed to evacuate the entire of the Tilical race from this planet. Could we request transport back to orbit before this planet destroys itself?
You are already on board the Bellerophon because you got transported there.
Yep, exactly. I'm asking the Bellerophon because they landed.
Yeah, to break orbit.
It's time to get out of here quick.
Sorry, the way you phrased it made me think you were asking to be transported into orbit.
Sorry, we are on board. Can we get out of here? You're our taxi.
Acknowledged, Vibers.
Taxi. Can you get a taxi to a decent ship, please?
Let's be nice. Blackfoot is a great captain. Uber captain, if you will.
Acknowledged, Commander Vibers. We'll start recalling our personnel now. This is going to be a bumpy ride up, so I suggest you secure yourselves in a chair or something with a seatbelt. So it takes a few moments.
Transport Chief, where's your bar on this ship?
It takes a few moments for the Bellerophon to recall all of their personnel, and eventually the telltale sign of blue alert signals that the Bellerophon is getting ready for departure. Shields have to be extended far out from the Bellerophon in order to protect the crew who are rushing back from the incoming asteroidal impacts, which are getting larger and more dense and more frequent. So, as a result, it takes a little longer. But yes, indeed, as you're there, you look out the port window, and you can definitely see the sight of Romulan shuttles are landing. Just a pair of Romulan shuttles are landing, and they are heading off towards the hyperstyle hall. But they probably won't find anything before the whole place goes. So, with that in mind,
say, fire a quantum torpedo where those shuttlecrafts are landed, so they can't get out.
Matt, can we have it in this universe of Star Trek that every bartender is Mr. Minoko? It is the same Mr. Minoko.
This multi-dimensional being.
Yeah, multi-dimensional being on every single ship, and all he does is serve drinks.
No, there's just 5 of them. It's the same person temporally.
They're alternate universe versions of Bravo.
No, there's just one Mr. Minoko, but it's temporally displaced. Whenever he gets to the end of our turn, he resets and he's on a different ship in this sector.
He's quantum locked into.
Okay, so back in orbit, things are developing. So there's been whilst all that has been going on down on the planet, the friendly Romulan ship has been in a pitched battle with the other Romulan ship. They exchanged tremendous fire, but unfortunately it seems that your ally on the Warbird fares less well than the experienced Romulan crew. Nevertheless, when the friendly ship does lose its shields and is starting to look like it's being basically bashed into oblivion by a fusillade of shots coming from the equally very badly maimed actual Romulan-controlled ship, the friendly ship seems to take the option of Pyrrhic victory, and so goes on a ramming course.
Yay!
And smashes into
the Daedric, so they have 2 massive weak points.
Yes, they do, and the ally ship takes full advantage of that and drives themselves right into the actual engineering drive section of the other Warbird. Being so damaged, they can't get out of the way in time, and there's a massive detonation as the friendly ship goes up.
So you know how we've got a planet moving towards this other planet. Well, we've now just got a micro black hole generated in the swap space as well.
Now the good news there is that the micro singularities don't actually create any singularities. They just kind of collapse in on themselves when they're restraint fields.
It just collapses the Warbird in on top of itself.
Yeah, so they both get sucked in and causes secondary detonations. The ammunition of the plasma torpedoes cooks off, and both Warbirds are engulfed in a massive detonation of plasma and other sundry destruction. At this particular point, Lieutenant Mono's console does give a beep. Can I have Lieutenant Mono give me a reason and science task, assisted by the ship, with a difficulty of 4? Jan, you can be the ship. You haven't rolled in a while. So, Mike, if I can get you to be Lieutenant Mono, giving me a reason and science check, difficulty 4 with sensors as focus. Jan, if you can be the ship and give me sensors and science. 1 dice assisting.
Wipe out the other 2 Romulans, we can take credit for all of their destructions and claim the Navis is so good it took on 4 Daedric class Warbirds on its
Nothing?
own.
Okay. Wow. So the destruction...
You have to jinx it.
The destruction of the 2 Romulan ships is so total that there's nothing left behind. So, if any evacuation happened, if life, what do they call them?
Life pods.
Life pods, thank you. Escape pods, that's what I was trying to think of. If any escape pods were jettisoned, either the detonation of all that plasma and whatever else were on the Warbirds has masked them for the time being. There's also the gravitic distortions to think about in the system. There doesn't look like there were any survivors, so wow.
Well, how was there all the bodies then?
It was nice to know you, strange, not Romulan friend, but okay. In the meantime,
fake Romulans will live on.
In the meantime, one
it's the
of
fake Romulans we don't like. Dirty fake Romulans.
One of the other Romulans, of course, pulled away in order to launch shuttles. And this is, of course, as the away team are doing their thing and are starting to come back towards the Bellerophon, which leaves the Navis and the one Warbird that you've already been engaging. So let's have a bit more shooty bang bang fire. So first things first, do you want more shields or more power? Before we do anything else, you do need your tactical officer to spend a very quick action before he does any firing to restore the weapon systems as well. So, likewise, Dr. Bertram can also do his magic with the weapons department, actually, or security department, I should say, in order to allow Claude to re-roll a d20 if necessary. So. Maybe we'll do that first. So, sickbay, it's going to be daring and medicine. Mike, if I can get you to be the Navis.
Oh, poor Navis.
And
I'm going to throw that in.
Yeah, Mike, you need to put your dice in dice jail at this, right?
You really do. Can I get you to give me computers and medicine for the Navis, please? Mike.
Okay.
Thank you.
Computers.
3 successes. Bertram's got this.
Doctor, this guy's lost one of his legs, both his arms, and his head's fallen off. Yeah, fixed.
Yeah, we are. We'll take the 1 from that. 5 successes.
I'm going to give you a second head made out of plant matter just to make you work a bit better.
So a couple of the tactical personnel, probably personnel who are trying to who are nearby any of the necessary power conduits that feed into the phasers, and maybe some of the control consoles for the tactical systems got injured, but Bertram and his sickbay staff managed to get them back into the fight and into doing their job really quickly, and so they are available for use again. Are you going to restore shields, and who's going to do it? I'm going to...
Stevens again.
Stevens again. Nova operations is usually... operations is usually Nova's bag, so Sean, why don't you be Stevens again and do some shield regenerating? Davis, let's you be the Navis this time. Davis be the Navis.
Uh-oh.
And do structure and engineering, please. Stevens is feeling rather uncomfortable in her ineptitude at the moment. Okay, no extra shields, I'm afraid. You've got to make do with what you got. Which comes to, do you want to do anything with power? Or do you want engineer to try and repair a breach?
I think engineering is on repair breaches with damage control teams to all locations.
Okay. Damage control and repair, and he does have the advantage in this because he is chief engineer. So Davis is usually your boy, so let's have Webby be the Navis. If you are doing... Actually, no, you don't need to be the Navis because it's damage control. This is all down to Bravo's presence and engineering. No, wait. No, I'm right.
Okay. And
difficulty for this is 2.
Of course, calm in the chaos.
So he's expended both his determinations. Nice. 4 successes. Good grief-a-goo. Okay, so that gets rid of 1 breach.
He's got to earn his He's got to prove his promotion before his previous chief engineer gets back on board.
If successful, the system is restored to function and can be used again. Normally, this does not remove any breaches, but does improve penalties. So that actually also does what that removes weapon impact. So Claude. How could I forget Claude? That means Claude doesn't have to do a quick action to restore weapons. It's been restored for him. Nice! Okay, speaking of, let's get Mono to give us a sensors and... Pardon me, it's going to be a reason and science... No, a control and science. I'll get it right eventually. Gareth, can you be the Navis, please, for sensors and security as you scan the Romulan ship for weaknesses? So, Mike, do you want to be Mono again, or do you want someone else?
Well, if somebody else wants to, that's fine. Don't mind.
Sean, do you want to be Mono?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Mono is doing a
I've been
scan.
winning so much.
Mike doesn't want to inflict his dice rolls on us any longer. Which is fair enough, I know how he feels, I've done that. Control and science, please, and Webby, this time you can be the Navis. Sensors and security from the Navis, please. I'm going to roll a challenge dice here a second. Okay, that didn't cost a point of power, like, nice. Okay, so, one success from the Navis, one success from Lieutenant Mono. You do successfully put armor piercing because you do find a weakness in their fluctuating power grid, so a point that can be attacked. Nice. Next up then is the Captain, who can create an advantage or get somebody to act now. Either of the above, so what you fancy doing, Webby?
Create an advantage.
Cool. So probably same statistics as before. What kind of advantage are you going for? Grand Court Order of Tactics, okay. When you create an advantage that reflects a strategy, you get 2 copies of an advantage to be used together for greater effect. Ooh. Nice. This should be quite telling then.
I'm going to use that one. I'm refusing to lose this.
Okay, cool. So what advantage are you creating?
I am thinking that we are going in for an attack pattern again.
So you want to... Okay, so you make an attack suggestion, or a pinpoint targeting, let's call it. So this is going to be presence and command from you, please. Difficulty 2. Just roll another dice. But you got 4 successes over and above what you needed, so you've done it. You don't need to roll a second dice. But you're going to roll it anyway in case it's a... Wow! Check that out! A 2, and a 1. Very good.
They damaged my ship. Oh, I'll get it back!
You get it back?
They
Nice.
damaged my ship.
They really did.
I didn't know you could fire 20 torpedoes after the two launchers.
Well...
But apparently it's possible.
Yeah,
well...
And just jumps up, kicks claw out the way and says, "This button!"
You know you can press more than one!
Then you apologise afterwards.
Yeah, fanboys. I'm so sorry, Claw. Let me take you out for dinner, Claw. I'm so sorry. Please don't end the universe, Claw.
So, if you remember, you need a quick action to... If you want to use quantum torpedoes, you need a quick action to calibrate them, then you can use your slow action to fire them. But what we need to do next, of course, is helm. But before I get there, you can add an extra dice to damage by doing a, I think it's like a full spread. This will up. This is escalation and ups my threat pool, but we're so close to the end now, you may as well, I thought.
Yeah. Sounds
But
good.
before we get there, our navigator, our helmsman, needs to do what he needs to do.
I don't know if we need evasive pattern anymore.
I don't think.
we
I
just-
think we're going all in attack at this point.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, this will be a attack pattern.
Cool. So Gareth, once again, if you could be the Navis for this. This is an attack pattern, so this is weapons and con from the Navis. This also costs a point of power. So Davis, can you roll me a challenge dice to see if you don't have to spend that point of power? Ooh, that was close.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab a point of momentum for this.
Alright, yep. It does actually cost that point of power, so Gareth, you've still got the Navis open. Take another point of power off.
Yep.
And I'll use my second star cross.
Okay. Bearing in mind, launching torpedoes does not consume power, but firing phaser array does. 4 successes, which means, oh yes, do you do it. And gain momentum back. So, wowzer. Right, so you have an attack pattern laid in, you have the captain's advantage twice, and you've also found a weakness in their system which gives your weapons the piercing quality. You've recovered shields. You didn't recover any shields. You haven't recovered any power. You're just going on this as an all-or-nothing kind of attack. So I think we eventually come around to Sean. If you could be the Navis for this, weapons and security, and Webby, control and security for Claught. Full spread quantum torpedoes, unless you want to go phasers again. But quite frankly, why would you?
Are we going rapid fire torpedoes as well?
That was where I was leading.
I'm burning my determination again. Come on, challenge dice. Come on.
So whenever the crew add 3 threats to fire a salvo, they may reroll a single d20 on the attack and any number of challenge die on the damage roll because of your rapid fire launcher. So bear that in mind.
Is one a success?
The challenge dice got 1. It wasn't an effect, so you do spend it.
1, wasn't it? Yeah.
So the difficulty for this is usually 3, but because of attack pattern and the fact that you've got the advantage from the captain twice, the difficulty is now 0.
Yeah, come on, Claw.
And I'm just going to let you have this because I'm really curious to see how much damage you will do with this. So you've added 3 to my pool. That's 5 successes. You've got a full pool. You needed nothing, so you've got 5 extra dice on top of the 2 extra dice. 1 extra dice. So that's 6 extra dice of damage in total that you can lay on when you fire the quantum torpedo. Oh my dear grief
can
God!
Be re-rolled.
And you can re-roll any of those challenge dice.
And we can burn the momentum pool.
And you can burn the whole momentum pool. So, do you want to re-roll any of those 3 blanks in the challenge dice that I see up there?
Yeah.
There's 1 other blank in the second set.
Yeah.
So you can roll an extra, re-roll 4 dice. 4 challenge dice.
Oh, it's 44, Dave, not 4.
Alright, wow, okay, blimey. Ooh boy, let's see how much this equates to. So, I think he's dead. I'm going to have to write this down, I'm not going to remember all this, so hang on. Let me get a piece of paper. So, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, hang on, 12, 13, 14, 15, with how many effects? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 effects. Right. 6 effects. No,
Damage.
Right, so let's remind ourselves. Quantum torpedoes do what? They have high yield and vicious. High yield. Starship weapons. Qualities. That's position tasks. Starship weapon effects and qualities. High yield means the weapon inflicts massive damage to enemy vessels. If it inflicts a breach, it inflicts an additional breach. So it inflicts multiple breaches, it inflicts 1 additional breach. It's penetrative 2. Good lord. So I take it you want to go, you want to spend your 6 effects on being vicious?
Oh god, yes.
And maybe just 1 on being high yield, so let's go 5,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, out of interest, where is the Bellerophon at this moment in time? Are they breaking orbit?
They're
so that
breaking.
they can
They're
see
coming
this
out of
fight?
orbit. Yeah.
Yeah, where there's sort of like the remnants of 2 destroyed Daedrax. There's a third one about to just completely be annihilated, and the fourth one's running towards the planet.
So let's see. With that off, it's actually resistance is 4, but you are doing 15. You're doing 20 damage. Minus 4 is 16. Take away that 6 from shield. You're left with 10. No, this ship does not have enough scale to cope with 10 breaches. That ship gets annihilated.
Tell Blackfoot the remaining one is his.
Ba-boom. So this wasn't just one. It was, I can't actually simulate multiple chain shots one after the other, but it's basically dun 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 dun, all going off one after the other. And just landing and crushing impact, which completely destroys that warbird.
Can we kind of like, as an additional bit, go after the other Daedrix now? It's like, come on!
Well, what actually happens is the Bellerophon achieves orbit and starts to break beyond orbit. Naturally, your away team are already on board because they beamed directly to. So the Bellerophon is now looking to basically quit the field in order to get out of the way of the imminent planet coming in to destroy everything. But of course, there's also the problem with the Venture. The Venture is having immense difficulty at the moment. Most of their systems are damaged, if not nearly destroyed, and they've got several fires going on, and damage report from their engineering section is rather heinous.
Yeah,
so
can we get into tractor beam them?
Yep. So you guys can do that. Meanwhile, the Romulans...
Yeah, we will do like we did, I think, when we came into the system with the Bellerophon, is that we will put ourselves between them and the gravity well.
Now, the Bellerophon is actually heading for the... well, to try and back the Navis up in what they're doing. The one remaining Romulan ship... you think, because the Venture has been protecting the system from the incoming gravity waves, it's made the Romulans think there's not as much peril as they might think there is. So the Romulans seem to content to just land teams at the moment, but the yourselves and the Venture have limited time now with which to escape the system before things go bad. But let me break to a little further in here. Just need to find the notes. Right. Wherever you are, whether on the surface of the dying planet, which you're not, because you managed to evacuate, or at your assigned station, or fighting off the last of the Romulan Warbirds, which you just did, you all see the following phenomena unfold before your eyes. The massive beam of energy that the Venture is pushing out through its navigation dish changes colour and then freezes in place, then spins into a glittering swirl of prismatic light. I'm going to, just for convenience sake, move the planet a little further on. So, glittering swirl of prismatic light. Rips in space open up before you, spilling out every colour of the rainbow in every possible direction, cycling through the spectrum into countless hues and shades you never thought could exist, and which carry the scent of 100,000 species of flowers. The swirling vortices on the planet and aboard the starships are approximately humanoid-sized, while those appearing in space are large enough even for a Galaxy-class vessel to pass through. So, in case this isn't clear, a number of different phenomena have unfolded, not just in space, but also sometimes directly in front of you on the bridge where you're looking at these things. If you're on either the Bellerophon, then you get the same thing no matter where you are, either in front of a viewing screen or at your station. Wherever you are seeing these glittering swirls of light, humanoid-sized, in front of you. But the ones out in space are massive in comparison, and easily the size of the Venture. As you take in the spectacle, a feminine form appears within each vortex simultaneously, presenting the same message to each of you at the same time. As before, this is a tall humanoid alien clad in a form-fitting dress with what appears to be wings on their back and a small sweeping tiara atop their head. They have short, dark hair and wide open eyes that are solid blue, with no evidence of an iris or a pupil. As they take full shape within the shimmering light, they reach out a hand towards you, either in greeting or in supplication. You can't tell. What can I use? Give me a second.
Oh, not the hands again.
You know what? Let me just listen to this a second. So this is me.
This is the voice changer. This'll do.
Friends, well met.
Friends, well met. I am Ashtamalia of the Displaced Tilikal. My people and I need your help. We have been trapped for countless millennia in this broken dimension, and we must escape.
The prismatic lights flicker, nearly go out, then surge back. The stress on Ashtamalia's face is palpable as the light flickers, as if they are making some great effort to keep the vortices open.
We are out of time. We cannot further hold open the way. Take my hand, please.
They reach out their hand to each of you simultaneously, somehow being able to appear in multiple places at the same time. Even through the ship-sized portals, they reach out a massive glowing hand. And so, what do you do?
I'm... Alright, someone else reply first.
Well, it's both a
So I'm going
distress
back to the
call and
bridge.
a call for assistance, so Bertrand can take the hand. Both as a,
Never's got the thing.
as a Starfleet officer and as a doctor.
Vipers is 2 pints in at this point. He'll grab it.
Viper's just like, hey, you want to drink it, buddy? Thinks it's Minoko handing him another glass.
So,
No, I've got a glass in one hand. I'll grab the other.
just to be clear, Nova's taken a hand.
Yep.
Vibers has taken a hand.
Or I take
Yep.
a hand.
Orai's taking a hand. Anybody else?
Absolutely.
Bertram?
Bertram's taking a hand. Okay. Any more?
Alright. Oh, Ed as well.
All right. With so many of you reaching out to take their hand, what's the captain doing? What's the helmsman doing?
Sucker fools. What would Starfleet protocols dictate?
Yes.
Technically, a life form appears sentient and is asking for help? But at the moment, all this life form is doing is asking for you to take their hand. Whatever that means. Now, from Thazanan's perspective, he is on the helm console of the Navis, and the view screen is kind of filled with this aperture in space that's opened right up in front of the Navis, and it's a giant-sized version of what everybody else is seeing. So it's basically this giant-sized Tilikal lady called Ashtamalia who is holding a giant-sized hand out to the Navis. Put the captain back in her seat.
Oh, it's a tough one. I don't know. I think evasive maneuvers.
Okay. What about the captain?
Anyone got
and
any
the
good
commander?
ideas for Latude?
Did Vibers take a hand? Vibers did, didn't he? Yeah, yeah. So it's now up to Andrews. That's the last one to decide what to do.
Right,
It's the problem with it is that we saw what happened when the hand reached out previously. So the safety of the crew is paramount, and it's like, well, we saw as the other ship that was definitely not Federation was pulled in aggressively rather than like. Yeah, but the Federation says that they're asking for help. Alright, fine.
Wait, I'm risking the Bellerophon.
Well, you've just got an apparition human-sized in front of you, so... The rest of the Bellerophon crew, if there are any nearby you, are just staring slack-jawed at all of this which is going on. Right, so several of you have reached out and clasped hands. Ashtamalia now, her face turns into an expression of profound gratitude, and then with your hand firmly gripped in hers, she pulls you, and in the Navis's case, in the hand that's outstretched to the Navis reaches out further, holds on to the Navis gently, but does pull, and you all, individually and a ship, get pulled through into your individual vortexes, and the ship.
Yay.
As I go back to the map with the ship, it's, loading a second.
Andrews
Give me
is
a
just going to be like, sorry, Cabal.
And the Navis gets pulled towards the vortex by a giant hand, as everybody else then follows their individual versions of Ashtamali into the smaller openings in front of you, and the Navis vanishes. And that is where our episode ends.
Yay.
So what happens to the Venture? What happens to the Bellerophon trying to help the Venture? What happens to the Romulans? And more importantly, what happens to the crew of the Navis? Will have to be sorted out. Will have to be sorted out next episode. And you're going to have to wait for
Blackfoot
that.
right? Was Blackfoot right? After all, we are just a bunch of hot-headed hotshots.
And the most important question: what was the source of those flowers I was smelling?
Well, the really important one: how did we smell flowers from the openings of deep space?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you be
Hopefully,
dissing the plants.
hopefully, what I was trying to get over there, and to be fair, it is a description I was reading from the actual source material. What I think they're trying to get over there is that you get a sense, multiple senses of being, engulfed in whatever's going on at once. So, and your minds are trying to make as much sense of these, what the sensory input they're getting as they possibly can. But, yeah, what's going to happen to the crew of the Navis, and where are they going? Where are they going to end up? We'll have to wait and see, I'm afraid. Which means we finished.
We're halfway through that bottle.
You can take it with you.
I didn't. I had a handful of a pint in a hand.
So,
Teeth.
at the moment, as I have stated before, I have some leftover health issues with what COVID gave me, because I had that over Christmas. Thank you, COVID.
Oh no.
I am getting better, though. My blood pressure is steadily going down. But until I get to have a word with a professional next week, I am going to pace myself a little better. So unfortunately, finding out what happens to the Navis will not happen next week. It'll happen the week after.
Okay.
As long as that's okay with you guys. If it is, fantastic. Thank you very much for being...
alive.
Yes, exactly.
No. Health is not important. Just take meds like I do, and you're fine.
Well, I need to get prescribed meds first, thank you.
I can sell you some if you want.
I haven't stopped the stream, Webber, you're not allowed to say that.
I can send you some then. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know what I've gone from stage 2 to stage 1, so it's going down. It's working itself out, but at the moment I'm erring on the side of caution until I get a professional's opinion, as anybody rightly should in stuff like this. But let me just check the calendar now. So next time we find out what's going on with the crew of the Navis. If I can just get my calendar to load. Come on, you... I can't say what I'm going to say. And keep the 12 rating of this show. Right, the 23rd. Interesting. Is next week. So the 30th will be when we meet again. Does everybody appear to be available for the 30th of January?
I believe I am.
Could be.
Excellente. In that case, then I am going to thank everybody who tuned into the stream for watching. Thank you very much. And hopefully you enjoyed this as much as we did. This was quite the tense, action-packed, weird episode. But this is now reaching the crucial point now in our journey through the Tilikal saga. So, what happens next? You'll have to tune in 2 weeks' time to find out. Likewise, anybody watching this on YouTube after the fact, if you did enjoy this, then consider hitting the like button, because it helps not only ourselves, but everybody who does actual plays of role-playing games, and of course anything to do with Star Trek, because it is all to do with appeasing our Lord and Master, the algorithm. Say it with me. All hail the algorithm. Thank you very much, folks. I wish you all to do like the Vulcans do, which is live long and prosper, and also to engage in infinite diversity and infinite combinations. This world is getting crazier. Trump looks set to win the Iowa caucuses, but whether that means he can actually go...
He already has.
Yes, there we are then. If that means anything, we're not sure yet, because the courts need to make up their mind.
No.
Apparently he can't, but you never know what's going to happen. We'll see. So crazy times.
It's
fine. I like the look of his rival, that Carnoonian Sin person. I have good thoughts about him.
Just remember, vote Megatron.
Yes, we'd be better off.
At least you know where you stand with Megatron.
Yes.
Pray for the USA.
In any case, everybody look after yourselves and treat each other with kindness, because we certainly need more of that in the world at the moment. And we all, from everyone here, we hope everybody out there has a great week or a great fortnight ahead of them until we meet again. Hailing frequencies will now close. Toodaloo, guys.